Well, good morning, everyone, from Knucklebark Ranch. Today is the 17th, Tuesday. Uh, Temperatures are in the garden right now are 64 degrees. We have a high of 94. We're in a waxing gibbous 24 days I think it's 24 days anyways, don't quote me on that, for a full moon. Anyways, we're in a waxing gibbous. Tomato plants are doing well. As you can see, we're keeping these trained to a single stem. I come out here every morning, and anywhere where I find like a branch growing out of right here, those are suckers, and we really don't want those. Some of the other ones that grow, like this one, that's not coming off of the crotch, so we leave those. And you can see it's going to produce a lot of tomatoes if the blossoms set. Here we have our peppers, and these are called sweet banana. Here we have beefsteak. We have beefsteak. We had to replant that guy. We have a sweet Italian long pepper, and then here we have a Hungarian, and I really like the way these Hungarians grow. So this is another sweet pepper, and this is another Hungarian tomato. So over here, and then over here we're growing peas. We had pea and ham hocks soup yesterday. Oh my gosh, all homegrown. It was absolutely delicious. And so here we have sweet 100s right here. We're going to train those regardless whether they're discriminate or indiscriminate. And we'll talk more about that another day. So when you see these guys growing here in the crotch, just pop them off of there and let them grow. This is a beefsteak. We want it to be a single stem beefsteak. I'll tell you what that one is when we get over there. This is another beefsteak. They grow real well. So, and we're looking for anything that's growing in the crotch. And then this one here is Aroma, and we won't be doing too much more pruning on that. We do have to get in here and get a lot of these old leaves off. We need good airflow through here, so we're going to want to trim these big shade leaves off too. And we have another Roma right here, and so we got them so that we're staggered, and we're going to train these to come up single stem also. Whether they're discriminate or indiscriminate, we do not care at this point. Well, and then over here we have a beefsteak. We had to replant this guy too. So, see, we just popped those off. And single stem. And we want it to grow up and over, and it will. So, and there's some of our harvest over there. We're picking out the big onions compared to those tiny onions, small onions, and then what we'll do is we'll chop those small onions up. Here we have black-eyed peas, cow peas, and we got some leaf wrinkle. We're going to treat that with some I can't remember. Anyways, I'll look it up. Some baking soda and vinegar. I don't remember. Vinegar probably. Just some vinegar. Anyways, try to get rid of that curl leaf. Get rid of the way, when you're out in your garden, every time you see a weed, you don't have to come out and you don't have to come out and slave to get rid of the weeds. So we harvest our asparagus is slowed down quite a bit. I'm not really understanding what's going on there. And then we have our leeks here that have bolted and went to seed. We're not understanding that either. But we have these that didn't bolt, and they're not getting all that big, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's water. Oh, the deer had visited us last night. I left the gate open over in that far garden this morning, or sometime yesterday. And the deer got in there and ate one of the tops off of the peppers. This is a nightshade. I forget what the heck they call it. This is purslane. I mean, all the deer and the elk and the cows and the horses, and they all love purslane. They love it. It's juicy. It's full of water. It tastes good. Sometimes it can be just a little bit bitter, but not bad. Anyway, so, and then that poke salad Annie right there, center of the screen. So if anyone likes poke salad, you just have to boil it 2 or 3 times to get the tannins and the poisons out of it. Anyway, so I gotta move forward and get these guys sprayed. This curl is going to really inhibit their growth. So over here, we come over here, still got our drying rack over there. We picked all these bigger onions out of there, and we'll store these onions. They seem to be doing well, stored right out in the dry, warm, dry air. So anyways, so there's our compost pile. These beds right here, we'll plant onions. You know, I'll try again. But we try to plant them in the fall of the year. But maybe that's a mistake. I have no idea. Still feeling pretty sick. I'm still fighting to survive here from my gangrenous gallbladder that they removed. It's been a long, since March 28th. It's been a long haul for recovery. Mistakes keep happening to me. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll continue to try to survive. That's what we do. So anyways, we do have some cukes coming on, and these are Japanese longs. So that's these guys right here. Anyway, so that's that. And then, so these guys can, on the trellis, we want to grow cucumbers, and we're going to start spraying pretty soon because they always get powdery mildew. So I'm going to mix up a concoction of copper sulfate for gardens. Peppers are doing well. Putting on peppers already. We have some remnants of some potatoes that are going, and this one right here, this is another Japanese long. He's not doing as well as the others. This is a chili. It's a hot pepper. It's this one right here. So if you touch the plant, don't touch your eyes. And over here we have our potatoes. Potato towers, potato tubs. And they get watered once a day. These guys get watered once a day on the drip. We have a bunch of volunteer tomatoes in here. Even in here, we have volunteer tomatoes. Volunteers. These are volunteers. So we're just going to train them, and they're probably sweet 100s, the cherry tomatoes. I have no idea what this guy is. Looks like it's got groups of blossoms on it. These guys right here, we're just going to let them grow. We really don't have too much more we want to put in this bed until August in any of these beds, really. So over here we have more potatoes. So potatoes you can't freeze. They don't freeze well. I mean, you can freeze them, they just don't freeze well. And then we have peas, and these are these Oregon snow peas, and they are excellent. We love them. Yeah, see, something ate the top off of this particular one here. It doesn't look like, looks like more like an animal than anything. Could have been a rabbit too. If the rabbit's this thing isn't rabbit proof, but it is deer proof. What are you doing? mister. Anyways, so we got peas growing along here. We got peas, and these guys aren't doing so hot, and they're dying. I don't know why. Maybe it's too much water. Could be. They like to grow throughout the winter, and we'll replant these right here. I'll replant these. I got plenty of seeds, and they're probably of a different type, different strand. You can see these guys right here are growing vigorously, and it's got to do with when they're planted also. So these were planted late, and we're just going to leave them. We'll just keep replanting until we get into the fall. And there's Maverick laying there enjoying the coolness of the morning. And these are cow peas. These are Carolina Crowders in the back, and in the front we have cow peas First Lady on the front, and they don't vine or crowd like these guys. That's why they call them Crowders, I suppose. Anyways, so they seem to be trying to grow in amongst the peppers. We need to get in there and trim them mint, excuse me. So you can see the mint's going to seed, attracting, and mint does try, the bees love that. Anyways, so that's that. Everything we got here. Okay, talk to you later.